On September 28, 2025, as the final steel beam was embedded in the clouds, the world witnessed the coronation of a new king. The Huajiang Grand Canyon Bridge, the world's highest bridge, with a staggering vertical height of 625 meters from the deck to the river's surface. What does 625 meters truly mean? It means you could take the world's tallest purely residential building, New York's Central Park Tower, and fit it entirely underneath this bridge from its spire to its base, with over 150 meters to spare. It means that France's Eiffel Tower would be just a little brother standing beneath it. If you were daring enough to leap from the bridge deck, ignoring air resistance, you would experience an 11.2-second-long, ultimate free fall, enough to make the most seasoned skydiver's heart race. But today, this is not just a cold story of statistics, of height, span, and speed. We will answer how a province, imprisoned by 100,000 mountains for a millennium, used steel and wisdom to carve a great road to the heavens for its own destiny. And we will answer the ultimate question. When a great nation climbs to the pinnacle of technology, where does it ultimately cast its gaze? To understand the soul of the Huajiang Grand Canyon Bridge, you must first look down upon its birthplace, Guizhou. On China's topographical map, if the plains are a smoothly unfurled scroll, then Guizhou is a piece of paper that has been repeatedly crumpled and squeezed by a divine hand, then suddenly spread open. Every crease is a mountain range, and every indentation is a gorge. This is the only province in China without the support of a single plain. 92.5% of its land is composed of mountains and hills, where over 1.25 million peaks stand like colossal beasts. Not 3 feet of level ground. In Guizhou, this ancient proverb is not an adjective, it is a harsh reality. It means that a straight line on a map is meaningless. 2 villages facing each other across a canyon may be less than a kilometer apart, their shouts even audible to one another. Yet for generations, travel between them required a half-day trek along winding cliffside paths. It means that generations of young people were trapped within this magnificent yet cruel landscape, their dreams and talents cruelly folded away by geography. And the protagonist of our story today, the Huajiang Grand Canyon, is the deepest, most treacherous, and most untamable of the countless scars on this land. It was carved by the Beipen River, an earthen scalpel that has been cutting through the Yunnan-Guizhou Plateau for millions of years. In the past, the only way for a vehicle to cross this chasm was to navigate nearly 70 kilometers of winding mountain roads carved from the cliffs, a journey that took almost 2 hours and tested the limits of a driver's courage and skill with every turn. Now, a national economic artery, the Lian Expressway, had to pass through here. Engineers standing at the canyon's edge faced a Shakespearean choice: to go downward, building a traditional lower bridge with steeper slopes and more tunnels along the mountainside, trading directness for reduced difficulty, or to go upward, facing the challenge head-on and crossing from the pinnacle of the canyon in a single leap. Consider this: the Millau Viaduct in France, hailed as the world's most beautiful bridge, has 343-meter-tall piers that are themselves monuments of human engineering. Yet, even if it were moved here in its entirety, it would not be tall enough to reach the other side of the canyon. America's Golden Gate Bridge, an icon of modern suspension bridges, is world-famous for its 1,280-meter main span, but its clearance height is merely 1/10 of the Huajiang Grand Canyon bridges. The only choice was to go up, to build a super suspension bridge with a main span of over 1,420 meters at an altitude of 625 meters. So how do you construct such a steel behemoth over 600 meters in the air, amidst howling gales? The story is itself a symphonic epic, blending ultimate courage, cutting-edge technology, and Eastern wisdom. First came the 2 pillars of heaven, the bridge towers, standing at 262 and 254 meters tall, respectively. They had to be anchored as firmly as a mythical staff calming the seas, rooted in the rock of the mountaintops. To achieve this, engineers drilled 24 massive foundation piles, some reaching as deep as 68 meters into the ground. 68 meters is equivalent to planting an entire 20-story residential building into the mountain, just to give the towers an unshakable foundation. Next, a piece of Chinese black technology, known as the Integrated Intelligent Tower Building Machine, made its debut. Like a giant, intelligent mold climbing upward, it broke down the complex structure of the towers into more than 40 standard sections, printing them upward with precision at an average speed of 0.8 meters per day. If the towers are the arms that support the bridge, the anchorages are the fists clenching the reins. On one end of the canyon, where the terrain was open, engineers constructed a colossal concrete gravity anchorage weighing 400,000 tons. Like a man-made mountain, its own immense weight is enough to hold up half the bridge. But on the other end, the terrain was too narrow to place such a massive counterweight. The solution? Chinese engineers provided an answer filled with philosophical depth. Used the mountain as the anchor. They excavated two enormous, 100-meter-long tunnels deep into the solid rock of the mountain, embedding thousands of tons of steel structures into its core. This time, they were not transforming nature but inviting the entire mountain to become a part of the bridge, to share in its mission. This was not just ingenuity, but a demonstration of reverence for and integration with nature. Now, the most poetic and heart-stopping scene unfolded. How do you get the very first guide rope across a 1,400-meter chasm of death? In the past, methods like rocket launchers and airships were used, but here, a lighter, more precise messenger appeared. A small drone buzzed across the canyon's silence, pulling a slender white dynamo rope to the opposite shore. This seemingly insignificant pilot rope was the beginning of everything. It would be used to pull a thicker rope, which would then pull a steel cable, and so on. In a cycle resembling a precise game of Matryoshka dolls, two temporary meter-wide walkways for workers, the catwalks, were eventually strung between the towers. Imagine walking on a catwalk swaying in the wind, 625 meters in the air, with a bottomless abyss below and the vast sky above. Every step is taken upon a heartbeat. The extraordinary courage of the builders is itself an invisible monument. Next came the weaving of the bridge's lifeline, the main cables. They consist of 217 strands, each composed of 91 ultra-high-strength steel wires with a strength of 2,000 megapascals, 4 to 5 times stronger than ordinary construction steel. How to ensure the flawless curve of these silver dragons? China's Beidou satellite navigation system became the eye in the sky, providing centimeter-level positioning for the first reference strand with a staggering margin of error of just 2 millimeters. When the Huajiang Grand Canyon Bridge officially opens to traffic, a chasm that once required a nearly 2-hour detour will be reduced to a journey of less than 2 minutes. But this is merely the beginning of the story. Do you think it is just an efficient corridor? No. From the very first stroke on the design blueprint, it was endowed with a grander mission: to be a world-class tourist destination. On one side of the bridge, a bridge tourism integration service area named Yundu Cloud Ferry has been opened simultaneously. The name itself is poetic, a ferry crossing in the clouds. Here, people can park their cars and walk out onto cantilevered viewing platforms. But that's not all. In the future, this will become a paradise for extreme sports. The world's highest bungee jump will be established here, offering a scream more thrilling than Macau Towers. A high-altitude swing, zip lines, and an aerial walkway. A series of adrenaline-pumping facilities are in the planning stages. This bridge is designed not only to carry traffic but also to attract people. It will become a bridge you can play on, a super IP with its own built-in appeal, and a window for the world to rediscover Guizhou. Looking across all of Guizhou, super projects like this are not isolated examples. Did you know this astonishing fact? Of the 100 highest bridges in the world, nearly half are in China's Guizhou province. This is a density that would astound engineers from any country. Now, let us return to our initial question. Why did China build such a bridge? Was it to show off its unparalleled prowess as an infrastructure powerhouse to the world? Perhaps that's a part of it, but the deeper driving force is the profound yearning for development and the simple, earnest desire for a better life. It is about enabling children from the mountains to reach the wider world in less time. An ancient parable says that man cannot move mountains, but in today's China, people have found a more enlightened answer. When the mountains block your path, you do not need to level them. You only need to forge a new, higher road for yourself and for the future above the clouds.